power for 11 months. Car your mamma car. Oh, I use my go.
No,
I use my own car. I'm not doing your mail at all. The car, the map, the car, and train them, the car to my watch.
So your mom will care, dear Nana.
Mother. Me na me issue me car, me na me to me taxi. Me na me issue me car, me na me to me taxi. Me call the ana me call state MPP state for the traffic. Me call Germany and say I like to school on. All the people need the traffic is now. I do virtual everything. Me call document MPP program. For being a traffic is mine. I don't have even an office of my own, but so many electronic Canada.
And I'm not going to know anything.
I don't know. What is America for the party that we defended? What is a national Yako Kekus? Yako Kekus, really strong money. As a member of the resolution committee, no, I'm a correct thousand Ghana. That is 30 million. No, I'm 2,000 for fuel, 3,000 for 2,000, 5,000. As a member, income the money 5,000, 50 million. Okay. Meanwhile, the first staff house gave to the party an amount of about 50 billion. 50 billion. What do you so you make a so we should to carry up national party cardi and make sure now party you make that question.
And also with the more so Namakasa because I just say.
It is a minute to one of them. Because minister behind Framing country and say, but now we'll come to me. Now, the ministry Romania a human. Dr. MC behind country and regional minister behind country. Oh, you're grabbing guy. What is happening now on your phone?
Aya dauro ni abo na sawote konkoya na trasa samaba aya dauro ni abo na sawote konkoya na trasa samaba.
Finally, we wish to assure our members and the Ghanaian people that MPP is scrupulously minded of the line that exists between government and the party and would uphold the distinction at all times. Thank you. Signed by John Boyd, the General Secretary acting. Nana Kratai, Sakabi, and what when you be so?
Oh, Mate. Mate.
When the nan command can put class and can can say, Bibi and Nanka now they solicited some information be everyone, but send yet yes a party no funny as someone say a serious.
Oh, like I said, look, my manager, and I mean so my castle. Let me go on 50 pro. I say 100 billion, and some I can say 8. And I make 50. So if the party says this, Minion is a party I am from sure. Minion is a party I am from sure. The party says that, look, we dissociate ourselves. Mammy, I don't know how much you. I manufactured because a tape so all the thing. Nansan Kawunya tape now. Who also already a yibia about issue a yibia. Mashada can be before him. Already be a Sabasa or can be a passport. Now, my son that can be a passport. This issue of 100 billion, now mechanical say 50 billion. Now, we're talking about $3 million now. To me, I know, no, it should be because to get more information. if the party says they dissociate, I mean, my castle, and you're not correct. I think the party in castle dissociate issue. I don't think there's anything wrong. If the party says I should appear before the steering committee, I don't think there's anything wrong. When I appear before the steering committee, I will also tell the steering committee, my witnesses, I don't, is my witness. Appear Stadium is my witness. So I'm not yeah, I don't. Yes.
Okay.
So no crown or no crown, I answer. Now winning your friend or Kwaku skirt. I'm saying. Meaning, but he didn't tell me that. Well, meaning no called by you know. Now I got to know hear the name of Kwaku skirt and tell my president America and Gabi. I know I'm saying Ghana phobia demonstration and people organize the Kwaku skirt. And some FM stations be fair as a player stadium. I know that's where I got to hear of the name Kwaku skirt.
I see. No. Akwabasa wadi manubu to sumina so. Sebia sanctions be ebeba akwamawa eno so say na abegi no.
Oh, it's a party. So you don't tease us, but me I am in hunkra no say. So are we giving encouragement to a culture in this system? Opinion obi din komo. Na nipa no record obi. Na nipa no demand sika bi. Na nipa no se wan fa mama the better abonten no the aba abonten. Do you think it's a healthy culture?
No.
Do you think it's a very important serious thing? So be bako ne bako din komo. Na all cancel. Na open more information. Na no so see me information. Because your information could do baby. Your team or backroom discussion on Bema. And I'm a boy.
Aye.
See. Your information, your team will be ye. Nani pano episode or no start to money, no okase. One for we are ma, me the Bema we are singing. And I'm see you fako, now you're smarter than you. Do we have to thrive and depend upon such a thing?
Mwakra.
Because what I said, more FM stations here, more where the crowd framing, it is meant for public consumption. But a young man for public consumption. Or no can you and can what
didn't come up bebre off air. Sebi unti sebia.
FM stations cramotaya off air. Ya taka se because I see where they off air. A lawyer for your cocoa timbo ya casemia. Or say my lord off record. Lawyer no can off record that judge entry. You can't court them debia. It's off record. So but somebody will just say I want to get this money from you. Into one family, the we are singing now.
And you get to us our nyadi.
Do you think it is fair? But really I've just said it's very dangerous. You see, if you read a lot of stories about things happen, Nigeria, people they shake, but I just give everything to God. The only thing I'll take is, Yanami nipa be yano washi Yanamano sa ya kwa ya be nyina nipa ya be ya ahwiye because you don't know when will be esun mufidie. But so imagine class if I paid Memphis some could 100 Ghana cedis and 200 Ghana cedis. What in the nature I say?
Mitiopa.
And I said, Tama Pure Stadium friend me cry and I'm sharp here. Maybe at the 1,000 Ghana cedis ma wa down for no. Na onyaya. And can also what will have been the situation. So no record no correct no san my 1,000 Ghana. Some my farm out. So what take us out in the cafe. What is no cross the best say be crack cafe. And so you see with God on my side, I told him say me nika pray the man. Because man manufacture life be. Must many information be. Now move. So I record them now what you saying and I'm who send some kafa paying phone no our party mun outside or party in someone who say we are foster.
Nana we sound recording in the idea wa record we who action be illegal be odi betumi ade akokot a chire ya be mu adwo.
Oh well, you have. But do you think I'll go or I'll not go? I think I cannot give you answer now. But I think that maybe going to court is one thing. But nipa wo tena wi ase no for say suba no so a otim say ehu tigasi na unim sa
okre
court de me pa meko court me pa men
Colizada o kan na siri ti bod din me yidati o ga genu se din ke tie ni biofo papa ne ma me first lady ya ma me lodi na mu yidati bro nti o mu ti ya di je tesi ebo say ya lesi no mo ba na no be boy ni bi nya me ni pa de chew na kam ye ndc ni ye jo mama hu ni pa ye kakata se say MPP for the buri ye so na ya so very bad on here so mo pay 17 kra 2017 almost new mo efi ye pay so nya ya gi kata zeri na afa afa no bi petrol diesel de ko fa nyina nya se ye ye ya gi nanka and someone na no bri boy ni wo wura Kwaku state e di komo phone so Kwaku state edia be so bonte no nka mini na no bri boy here part 1 wo de aba no ikana no bri boy kenya mi na ko nka so yes sama wo che no wo ye mistake ko na nim baby o kasa bia wo che wo de radio bi o kasa bia memory kano bia wo de kasa no de fofo be se mo change bi abonya kasa radio bi o ko se o se kasa kenya na obri boy nti ko na nim na no obri boy kasa na dia mi bo ko kwa ne se o kasa de se asane tiete le tinti na ne se ne ka ne dire so me kan ze ne kwa de e wo na brabo min central na no obri boy ni Kwaku state di nkomo Kwaku state ye no ho wa na no wadi patu we wano wa ye no ho se we MPP ni ana na no obri boy di bi ye no ni di nkomo di na no obri boy nsema o ka se okope information fi no open information ni kura ma poswa ben o rajo ma ma ni kura se me na se mo e ti bi ni bi kura ka mi sa ni ni obi e se
ɛyɛ dawuro ni ɛbɔ na sɛ wote kɔnkɔn a na kyerɛ sɛ asɛm aba ɛyɛ dawuro ni ɛbɔ na sɛ wote kɔnkɔn a na kyerɛ sɛ asɛm aba.
Ladies and gentlemen, number APPLE ready to take call from Virginia. Please proceed to I say, you're not your political work and baby. Oh, yeah. Shoot the door. Yeah. Apple68TV.com. Apple68TV.com. I see you. Yes, where you want it to? I have a great one. I have a great one. Apple 68 Radio. Chip the door. What Apple68TV.com. What's the USO? You know what the propaganda? Prophet Pepper's get the work and we have. Mantra. Yeah. Audio again. K W E K U S K I
Yeah, come on, wow, come on, yo. Yeah, no, I'll bring you. Look at that thing you smell when you feel like the way. Secret what prove? They eat the what the prophet could was there.
Jataba will di.
My way in town now, obey your play. Jataba's Sunday. Or Sunday. No one here, girl. Could was got to see a one and only. The fillet up here. Hey, let's get ready to rumble! You don't know your quality, so no one summer will smile. You know, the year play. I commit you. Gentlemen, thank you, sir. When you find, yes, thank you. Why you want? Who now you want? Why you want? Yataba, listen, I know. Yeah, come on, watch some busy. Who now you want? What do you do quickly? I swear now you're steady from Atlanta to DC. You're meeting up for Kudrufu. I'm 68 radio network. I'm fun to know. We must get that you back. Obeying the attack. Can I say? And you still remember tune or your now we're going to the Abiraya Baba, every time what you want to come up with now, some of that one. One of our power,
okay, and you may Yamuacho Yamuhamache, our maybe also. Samre Sese and Ode were feeding at one. I feeding the Apple 68 FM. Tumadia Samre Kwakusket, the Debra Yatudi Kandewu, na in some fun. Tumadia Ebe Cock Sa Bayet on me. Tumadia Kwaku our Facebook Apple 68 FM. Training Radio Flash Apple 68 FM, Ghana Web News 1, Ghana Politics Online.com, Ghana Breaking News, Morning Ghana, Facebook here, Apple 68 FM. A pacha woba na washe video no edi amaye. Meme ba na jo. Enso adebe cheno na enena mahia. Pia dano na mbeye metie. Databa. Anadro mena mbeka ubia. Eti anyumre ya babe din komo oba she video no meda wase bebre so asa wo time no wa twen me sem power henti na wo ba ton safre obi mame anyumre ya bedin komo afa kan anyuma wo krom anura mama se ye ni campaign ti du be dia na mama ya home so enye nzisa edu be bia mama ya chi ahome sa Debbie on the man of their chair. Brew, ya break campaign. No, if you were kidding, ran in. There, the kitchen all the time was not a man, not for their cheme. And you go up here, I know you break. You could hear Juma, the assignment radio so quite. And yes, is a. The man was a chance to say, yeah, Ghana mama ye no kro mo one job. Omo ye radio no ya wapon. The time was no be program no we are no ko. Let me call ye adwuma 12 hours. And some my son better radio so for 2 to 3 hours. Until ye pete 2 to 3 hours in a plan. Kasa this is so and go. Until adwuma we no and ye pete. So me one job with the come in the daytime. So I just say, I don't want to be a in daytime, but yeah, me have a humanity. And then we call her to my phone. And son of a pa, a bayamo. And Timo mobile friend could daytime. And then you, young come back. And so soon the pay. No, no, me. And you may, your baby didn't come on. Virginia, snow not as I talk. More Virginia, no. Starting 1 o'clock. Hey, I want the amount for the snow not top Virginia. Meaning the mainland of one so what to say. Mainland, what to say. We can't mainland the mainland for Michiam, and this is for more mainland Michiam. Okay. And you bring a wedding come back and 9 near pong. The beer brainy baby or some pono, yapon. And common be say, ora, ora. Commentina ye, Juma Messica. Omodia Precana. You bet him come on. Near me, papa, me bra, chief of staff, Julius Debra, or use statement. And the emote. I'm a mona. Yes, you see. Hey, Excellency. So, what if you was here, be pa? One man said, "Uber set the canna, Nakana, ye. You may be on home come. And then a softly be a combra separate to Mako Bompire. I will send you a quick rabababash, Sakotoya bababash, rababababash, shake. Suffer Duncan Williams, maybe I will be a papa Michel. Rasha Bedron for Ababon Payu, ye paid the DAP. And I suffer no, and the more by breakfast prayers. Now, we'll be breakfast, not more bomb packet. The heaven is telling me, a man will say, hey, as a gift, you have in daddy. Yeah. And then, and also a crosso. Me kana campaign time say Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The mayor told me for free education. A better best free education in West Africa. So see, I'm no say, and I'm a friend with Sadi. I'm a friend back who be a near man Sadi, who did document and son. We can't travel. I'm the one I had a moon classy. Are you for more program? I tell me what one more friend. Meant to be cassa. You may be no song come on. You may be no song come on. Mr. Dampare, as a so called Dampare, you war Ghana police. That's what my Ghana police and I say. My Ghana police, I say. Excellency John Dramani Mahama, that better could so for some back on it. And near my wine was some back on and what they are trigger and meant the Nina Befrefa. None of me can hold. Set can as a country. As a country. Jelly John Lawrence and Tia Kunaso. Now you were the Bani. You were Ewe. You were Ada News. You were Tree. Tama Jerry Cheche Tia Kunaso. Near menus for language PR. So Kwame despite the sound of a chance here. Now ya tele 2000 na mo Ghana na ya tele and the ma in crime news was a quite despite. Maya ye for and then such a won't take brofu, wouldn't brofa car. Night is a white ye busy passa. Oko Mexico can language. Oko French for Castapa. Bonjour, Omaka. Merci beaucoup. Oko come to Omaka Makasa. Oko Burkina Faso for French. Yanka Profu French. Omo president in Kasakra French. Ghana. A year one case some. You better in a Hong Kong Moha. And you may in summoner you better be. Cold. Contain an achi and none of us said I make once. And then I couldn't video you be you ha. And some near baby. And then you bring Kwaku skate. Let it plow. Matana Akuremi, my evening can't way. Na Yenre, Mr. Dan Parison, what to say? You're quite on the evening play. And you may be a will be a Michel. Kwaku skate and Metia Kuremi. Osha Openia Medina to ya. Friend Mr. Dan Parry. One of your Ghana IGP. Police if we are saying. Now, and apostle one penny for quarter. None of me can have. When I see me bash it down Paripa, but me a campaign, Madame Parry, a proof of the time. But then, but who said down Parry and you will be? As I see my plan, what to recommend. What bread too much, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Papa, Madame Rumo, Sabu Pesa, one man will pay a what's here, Madame Parry. And yes, sir, Sabu Madame Parry Tinaswa, Posumi no Decom. And you may be Sicana. Madame Parry to me, Hunter. Then I may catch out. Excellency John Dramani Mahama, or my good see for two. Dinner back or Quisket may pour some so much. Messer. Some Yenya Dam Paraquine. And the Wuko police said, you may want from a Bentia to town, Opipia. And complaining about Dampar. Opipia said, IGP Damparin Court must go. Uncle to say Ghana must go. People just said Damparin, why you go Quisket? The Juma home shop. One can say, we are saying, well, IGP, what to me cost no question will be your mamma's a metal. One GP, what to me will be fear and the check allowed. Damn parade by police segment of the contract. What do police uniform and the more no one can stand home? They say, because Canada Japan when you answer that parent. See what the damn qua. See what the damn coming in as a tampering court because the Juma won't take and no crack because you have your cause other than Madame Paraquine. Says what an answer. And with the bazaar. When you see a sentimental, just see your IGP. Hey, sir. Ya kwatwa ba kunkum nipa ya poja this year too tiana yem ya kase kwai hawa kumse poni hawa kumse ni kaswa dan parent twin kafe when nan wa tutu sama another prayer ye dan parent twin kafe tetemo ayete wono and the dan parliament police tuma say teteno police use statement to Omokasa. And nothing you want PRO. But Damparia Chetuan in Apostle. And so then you use statement. Statement now Damparia use no. Yemisa say, me pay him the tweaker letter. Tenasina Bisa who said, me pay him and the tweaker woman wakana. Pacho, a light to the man. Tenasine bisa ho se nipa he ene timi ka letter. Teteno se bibisia selita aposifo ekọ radio so ye fra bom. Peace FM ye fra posifo. Adoma FM BBC omo fra police PRO wakasa. And the PRO abo police dan pare chiapo no po. Enti na posifo ntimi kasa. Nipa na woye PRO no esese ma no kwam woye na dwuma dan pade sikwan no. Amare me possible because me a campaign man or check your record since I do buy me more what you da. Be 1 month, 2 months, ye 2 be ye back to me fire out here pam because we're 2 months shady. Yet ye Bulavan. Person here what him. I'm Robert Kumo. The case request here the cock hamsing. Pete, you kukum the pam. We are saying for number qua. Obi akwadi money, one man can send in your post in your kun. No kwadi money at the handcuff for goodness, yet no quack hamsing your koya no muma. Cheremy baby be what cheremy. Country pay. And you didn't nipa quack hamsing near quack nipa baby. I say, right IGP. There be yummy statement. Tantana be a issue statement. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Media mechanical crater. So one person one member ya. Papa. I can't tell that. And my catcher, Miss Saka Bill. Some the pump tampering. See, OP, you will not bet me a judgment. You hear Carabapia, Carabapia, one of the time. You will be a warning to police segment. You will be a policy flooding in your back. You will be a with your policy for some. And now, which Uko cancel to post in where you are. Because, and the post in EP is so our Republic of Ghana. At the nursery, and penny for. Obin Kwamu Bimra, Sia Risate Ghana, then your IGP shall say Risatano. Second year reset here. Then yes, say IGP, you reset one also. Because we'll be a some will be out. Excellency John Dramani Mahama Papa. So what's the word reset for man Canada and your police settlement here reset. Say reset what NJ. The mechanical crash. Tiname Makase. Mumaya we wabano. And yet today. But baby question ya, the bed draw attention near to my paper so Sadia we can afford pay. Positive one man castle woman crown, and we are the Damparia Yaka. Woman, will be the Damparakasa. Tell me your cassia to Damparaswa bar, Damparin to pay 5% crap. Then the sandy power, your question what the police do. And then the sandy power, yes, son. Now, near Kate. Consider me. Kawachina men Dabenano, no statement about said Ampari Tuno. A controller, Uncle for report from Mra, Busumini, you won't report. About 20 per wood. As I see John Dramani Mahama, 120 days. Would the Opasha said Dampare and for report Mra. I could say 1 month in you won't report. But 3 family other necessary man of quarter. As a say your logo no a tobola so near papa before from back, nobody beside you, no woman can afford. A controller about 15 years, your body tube, your body panel don't pay a tube and the panel with them. Up to now, no report. Hey, Excellency, Madam Roma. Papa, with the pound show, the pound show. Ma obimbre no meye sanhwe no mu mahe me se medda benya ne nkocha na metia say you let that ponten say IGP ko ade me hwehwa no na COP ye wonimra me ye na dwuma because COP betia ye dwuma eya sempa enne Chromatia police. Police knew about me say your friend of Francisca. Police knew about the Messica. But when did na me yes me money thing but mama me motino. Ah, and me yes sanka me mo. Police knew about Tamparium with Timisika. Or yet more MTTU. Oba. Me your son come in money thing with radio shop. Me your son can salad come in money but nobody thing there. Because tampering to me and that. In the end, Chrono, police near what my mutema hobine. One word in Misika, and he can say, and then. O my mutima did not some purpose when you ska. MTT Unia, when Jira Kwahum Peganesa. Officer who transferred that one in his Copenhagen. Person in Francisca Boachi Mensa. Francisca Boachi Mensa, Tampare. Calling in the Bissan said, Boachi Cratchy Bisika was Central Police Station at one crime. When you MTTU officer, lady. Oyoba, we want a picture. Florence, Boache Mensa. Your friend of Florence Boache Mensa. Florence Boache Mensa. The number is 0242 026017. Opa, for no man, no friend, make a chance say, what do I do? Kwaku skate, or catch yourself wrong number. The one the account number, your friend of Florence Boache Mensa. The number is 0242 026017. Wow, what transfer this lady, or catch yourself wrong number. So when me 17 my kind of kufa the time no. Hey, and the gem that is who met me up back and the jar. Now, the time we came. But young Passia, the excellency Chonto Mani Mahama Betiachan. Now, with Jimmy Kana or competent. Yes, Mr. Wow, panel. For this lady, Nebis and said, when them cratchy be a one American watching the security. I mean, my said that I mean, Canasa because we can't, and they're a Kwaku to Ghana. Dampering them all this, dampering to me can't enter lady. Dampering wouldn't win now. But when Twin Cafe and Jeff Florence, what he means. When Twin Cafe, Jeff Florence, what he means. Now, what he means are fraud or quick skate. Ohima, but what in the first kind of a messing, you know, and Tessa. The old button was more canon. Mother wound Florence, so good to me. But what day the first canon from my mercy in Boko and Tessa. Well, number is 0242 026017. Damn Pagama, this lady at Jimmy Siketi. When you know MTT. Moment direct castle. Who want the picture now? About penny and what Jimmy Siketi. 0242 026017. Florence Boachimensa. Opa. Fanama the sham team never said the bed member. But don't friend this person you can't yourself wrong line. I'm bringing customer back on one day. And now about what's now. And the man was so. Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Tiakunaso, meeting up a can any time. Maybe it's Dampare as a somewhat yet Dampare, our Republic of Ghana. Now, my second story. Free education. Free education. Free education. Free education. amanfoɔ ɛde yɛ campaign. So, Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ba will make free education. Ebra na nanto ɛwɔ hɔ. Mo kai nnuane na Ghana nkwalaa di. Producer will be hɔ. Who will be hɔ ama baako. Na nanto time. Aduane na yɛ meti. Ene Excellency John Dramani Mahama na mo say Oba begu free education no and the abofra baako bia we sadi baako ede. And now abofra baako bia we sadi baako. Sadi aye $4 in the United States of America. It is a baako school. Nese ye man sadi baako we $4 na from mama onyade. Na from mama onyade wajade. Mumia mana baso. Me pamocha no more friend me with TV so me wie be kasa. You with TV so. You wie be kasa. Esremo, you with TV so. You wie be damase. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. This will be good free education. Will be good free education. Me can this platform so say Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The free education, the best free education in West Africa. Aname Buamanka campaign time December the career can. We say by your best free education in West Africa and the Abem will be not on Abem when you may boss no Abem Yami boss no Abem Excellency John Dramani Mahama the boss no Ayade Abem Monsieur Excellency John Dramani Mahama the boss no Abem. Sometimes kind of for your catch them say Bibini amunya botre ya betu aba ya ma me mo nkrase chema wutimi simu coin say free education ya ba bekuno ya di ya campaign say free education Excellency John Dramani Mahama e ba bekwem o catch us antemanya no be atiase because atona dream patenne and Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Excellency John Dramani Mahama Baye and the Abofra Bako Resadi Bako. Producer, not coming here say video no pass and book one. Now the time at the end of Nkwalani Dino, some more coming young committee. Pamachow. We should share mammy. Another time. Who want be near Ninja Metia? Now I will. The catcher mo can afford. Say, a baby, I see about the week. But then, Rajo Mahama, Ama Yahuse, what shall say, Mr. Tikan? Mamma Huse, what shall say, and you can ye. Because, and then our father, Kuri Sadi, a day, producer, we good. Waiting on me producer. Let me see. Kona koba akufu the time. Aduane ani quality udi yima me. Yeko.
Send ediko, inabeka, miaro.
Ya enkonya na nkwala tena super school. Producer, uni aduane no wo. E pe aduane na die no. So wo aduane na faba. Diena ye mano iti uskuno kamenya noa kama ube ya mami akran beji pa tawo noa so we need so dia de mami komeni so what I say why enkomia na school from kwala teso kwani nya bi traso nkonyo ni nya bi traso wo de ya konwa ne de na mami e ko ye nimra
Send ediko, inabeka, miaro. Endo miaro.
Arewo. Hey. That is any bad. Some people are busy develop 50 years develop plan for their future leader. Yet they are politics. MPP, NDC. Look at this. Dear no more very high. Dear no my. They claim they have committed to be a Ghanaian. Look at this. 21st century 2021. Nipa daso dia konya seseja eko school. Nipa daso tinwiase. Nipa daso oko at the form.
Aya, where nana kufa the time. Patana, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Penso. The second coming up by a country kind of one. And the old mind, I human being, a surprise me. And the Wuko school dama, your man can and your bofra, Sadi, Kwaku. The day, Sammy Sadi, United States of America, Sadi, your $4. And now bofra. Within 1 month, that's what I said to Mama said, I'll bofra be a Miss Sadi Baku was school man. Nenya honam no who say education no we shall kana mo ye ka eni e be go free education ye be go free education wo ba akufa do time wo ba timi nya sadi akufa do time bisa ho say wo ba timi nya sadi we ya na atende Excellency John Dramani Mahama when we young folk could do for pemma ba one sinsu mo ham what pem on my kana Pemabo, Okukudrofo, when we young for John Dramani Mahama. And now, when we are Dramama Peso, school ni Apala, at Minas Deep Paco, and what a terry keke. What a terry. The Baba Yatro, Tina the catcher, what kind of near what to a say? Kind of free education, and by your best free education in West Africa. Send your own terminal treno. Send your own get your market and your best market in West Africa. The same time, I'll be free education. Then the Obako school at that. What do you get a path? Yanko, Nianko, Yama, say, dear Bianin, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, at Yamankolado school. Sadi and a pabia the man of Frasa Via Freddy Dickeke. About Frakodina, Okutani Sadi. Sadi, and your $4 over the United States of America. Brother, now the free education when you this time, not education now pro. But then, I'm afraid now, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So, we are saying, you, we are Mizaha, we are Mizu. Obi na school dem was we dey show try help you free education e koye Raga Mama, when you are to Forsen, and the vice president, Professor General Nopo Kwajimai, I need you for staff. Yamin Shama. When the Mubasha Swama can afford 2028, Sequani said, yeah, can afford to Abamamo, and the school Yambo Fred Pia, and the school them not Portorium, and young man a school of Flam Water, was it Sacre, about Fred, what is good them no. Sadi na ye dear man, while we are in a near check and what a new map water, which means yes, to be a good
attempt to subvert the
school near Kwalano and the water grana. The near Jim Warri Sadi $4 a day. There be a map of $4 for sardine. Osune akwalaba kwese. $4 sardine every day. And you want some of frano, Ubia Kutani sardine. And then Ubia Tonuma, and then Mofrano Crado.
24-hour economy.
Attempt to subvert.
As school from Kalana Sabamania Sadi, and the other will call her. I'm a friend Pia to assistant sacre. Maybe I make I want to and the excellency John Dramani Mahama. I must school near Columbia 1 Saturday a day. I'm a flow. $4. Sadi Hukwa Africa Marketa. $3 to $4. Excellency John Dramani Mahama said, a baby and Kalan Money. What can swap the education? What can say what Baba says here? We are the Funa, the Kufa de Mama. And Tino Wabaso the Reseticana. Tell the baby, school from Kalano, who had your moya, and in your motor. I'm a friend being near Tibo School. Be a series of Pasoko could be. And you man. Wow. Send you what him your mom or fra. Pia said, Tima mekake. Sadi rima mekake. Bad tax no. Match ye bad taxes and everywhere. Match ye love ye come. Ye resete kana na kana ye. And the school ya kwala. At me did document and some school. Police of a video tosman. And the premier video will be feeling excellency. Oh, my feel you so much. We are powerful. We are too much excellency, your mama. Yeah, well, we are your mama. And who caught classroom. About Friday, Sadi Bakundi Dokno, me and Sa, the visitor. No, and I will be. School time, free education. No, children, many Mahama Castle, Bayan Yawayan Yampa. And the woman red classroom about Freddy Kadokomi and Sa. I could find watch. Mr. Sender, the Eleven and Quality. Kalano no more phone fire to such talk. But then, Heniania Dokonia the good ball, and the Dissi Homa Kalano. Akolani you tum wedi, what did you and one Sandy for Flatum, Dokuni Sadi. Sadi Bako, I almost $4. Excellency John Dramani Mahama, say every day. School near Kwalabia Baby Sadi was school. And to be catching on side, December manga. Me can have said this election. See a problem, John Dramani Mahama. Free education, a better best free education in West Africa. Tama won't you so? As I say, your mama about a good free education. Where you are the pay your money and Doctor Papa, Mako Papa, Sadia Quality. Akwaladi we go school. Akwaladi feel class of the school. Obe feel is a mama. Famiko education in the more double track you come. Double track. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But it's a saying video. And you know, we young crowd can come ye. Can sit hey. What the sardine go sardine musuno. I don't know. When we chim the kume so about Frebia one sardine, about Frebia one sardine, about Frebia one sardine, about Frebia one sardine, or did you do? Be a making will be bisa and a quick cat what kind of sardine away. Ah, sardino, I mean, you have a friend sardine one way trouble. When we sardipa, Excellency John Dramani Mahama Daruma, and the Yamanu we sardine was cool. When the young folk come with John Dramani Mahama Daruma. Papa, can a man your school phone call us over the was it? Can a colasso over the was yo, and your grandpa who could have the moon. Nanu Susa, Sana Tama with me, Dada, one, Sana Satiman, you fool, one cake. And said, a school phone call like the Bibia Shamana Sabi catches a lesson your mama. Some of Freddy Kadokomi and Sa with Nesadia. No more boy, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Apostle said, when you pay my where, when you pay pa, what castle by ye, what jumpa. Sadi the photos of you. Worry Sardino, not the Crumianu, the Crum 9 and Gubo Bakum, what would be Rian where you from? The Cruno, a Gubom, boom, and woman did Makona Gubo Bakum. What we are, or you don't call it to be another. What did be another we are? Bo Cassetta Gunosa the Krugumitron, your pen with it. School Yama Fro, and I hear from a better way. You can't tell me, say the to me, master and see your mama, or bet me a yama proso. And now I know what can say. Double track, Yamutu, you Excellency, you double track a free. When you're feeling leader, Abana, you're 20 year catcher said, to a penny young fashion, what about what you know about Balan Quampania Faso? You don't come up of any. Yes, idea of Flannery. The crew bomb and the way you mean no good person working, and some young way you did the good not the good. abofra no be free school beba no obeba fie no anya honam wonya potty na no ho ayefefefe ntia na wo school fo nkwala na obia kosua no asre obia kosua na ni ache obia kosua na ne ho poso obekwa education bi when you free education and you free education you kwase samu ase you kwase sensu fi ye de ye dwene amakwala and the wo school tema school kwala bi ani ache na anwuma woto ane se ye ni da so ni na ne dwomama se wa manka ye wu and then we are the partner who was school down the one of us free education and Masota and the Waho and the one America budget out of my new MPP nine among us we are MPP about. So me and this MPP for nothing again. Or more than more until I can the Japan Canada can what's MPP for? What Jimmy. Obi could tell me Swadi who are what I can ye because when this Swadi will win tea, we want to get and I will buy one side. MPP in one uncle school be what could be. So I wish I did back on what did not come here, but my parents consume pan yet in what Mwa MPP, Mwa, for so be a new stop. What is a mura? What is a mura? No, what that man, no. Chimie. Montana opposition about forever. Near my sellers, you pay the unresetted calamai. Match, see, hey, Opian fan to come the tuga. Match, sure, no record between. Bad tax, Yamu to the camp. E-levy, no more. Match, when we 24-hour economy of budgeting and Kokon Ketena, no one count myself, Nana MPP for the Sama Casabian Kokodibino, and Kokon Ketekitem, who was Asia. Who was Asia 10 years, make Obian come in Germany. My buffalo can't straight. Who was Asia? Omo de bank people. You be catch us a bank on the Quachilo. When the Wasas and the Conwell register. It is Asia. So by young Kukon Kitty be a pass center. Ma will now more 20 assassin. Because dear member when you be not catching me. Dear my boss for catching me sack. Who was assassin a car? No one register. Who was assassin Cratano and qua. You bet your bank you been walk with loan. Now they are starting. Now I'm loan now who question okay we say. Kakra we you know dear. Woman baba hand Kukon is a wood here and that's what you and Kukon the idea to listen. And the woman the veterinarians for Peppa Abba one. Never to be Bosumi be up a bed to my which and so we get now. We now pay until you're ready in a land. Oh, pass us a member 1 acre. 20 acres going. Cheniantam. Nako person may be a fabu. Chasiantam. This year be a tibina static. Pass us in the tour. I'm what me they will plan. No ventures a dent and not the aqua. No pa. Ya travel bank out with the Macomb which is Kadia Bayan Kupon. The Sikana, a Bayer Tech. And the date you say. And then you February 11th, na Kwaku Makamwi. Upian kind. The bedroom and the bloggers, Munka, Kwaku Makam, they say March, first budget hairban. A woman, 11 Yamutu. 11 Yamutu, bad tax Yamutu. I did be my buffalo cabby beach. Toe, on Betty committee one. Actually, I can transcend a toe once a map. But in Kukon Kitwana me and Yame. Sunday, you started fair education now, double track a criminal. I knew my to turn up class, your excellency was as you so bit me. In Kukon Kitwano, my boss for not catch me, and you'll be not catching you. This one die. The son that you know, na abide castle will be a Wukutas for Wasas and a bra, the angel baby no quache, Pessia. Now, Mamu quache Bessia na, will soon be a baby make my wager. You bet my doctors have a hand cocono, because of Kokon the idea Simon. The son that na Sana cross Wakan, the Musa can afford the Brayesica for. We can say Kusia and then Coco a poop brain, and my yes, she poop a quamanane. And in the car, who said, you will not see you now, a boy, a pepper water, a pepper. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Now, we can't hold to a back. Me say, Obebi Setekana, Nakana Gigi. Next story. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Eba office. Ne defia ebiasa. The cat defia ebiasa. Also, the muya with 30 days. 30 30 days.
The first 120.
30 days, never diasa. And your mouth, Paje. Ulma Cassa. Or if I was for Suquatum. Or Market Kensi knew. The person met time a pope. Na me knew me, no. The best idea Kwaku. Na young said, Papa. Some quarter field was sure baby and us will share PP. Ah, 30 days. What we are here, yes, and you may. Patch up. Mamma knew me and you told the car. You could see. Jail.
Days in office, we will hold a national economic dialogue to draw up a 4-year fiscal consolidation plan. We would rationalize taxes, abolishing, among others, the obnoxious e-levy.
Constitutional honor as the returning officer of the 2024 presidential election to declare His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as the winner of the 2024 presidential election and the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana.
My brothers and sisters, it is with tremendous humility that I accept this clear mandate that you, the good people of Ghana, have given me to lead this great nation as your next president.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Asemparabo, 24-hour economy.
One month of our president, President John Mahama's in office. Oh, it's very good. It's very good. It's good that have a change. And then the whole Ghana has become great. Because the country now, for the 8 good years past, we are in a cage, like how the food Ghanaians in cage. As if I could, like our former MP, Kennedy and the said, Ghanaians in a cage. So we are in cage too. So that very day, the Ghana become great.
You will say, yeah, Papa. Or the food of soup on any pack of getting up Nippon. Essence of blood in Nippon. I know so, yeah, they are on Tiani Papa, who is their house on mountain. Who would be a house now? Sharp wow. Until near found, I'm not going to be at my found this one.
His Excellency, President John Dramani Mahama, signed a social contract with the good people of Ghana to reset the damaged economy with an all-hands-on-deck approach, improving governance, restoring public trust in institutions, and improving people's living conditions are huge tasks for any government.
Is the hope we need. He's the hope. He's the hope for Africa.
This 120-day social contract encompasses 26 key initiatives. These include economic reforms, governance standards, prudent expenditure, justice and compensation, policy reviews, including education, and the fight against corruption.
As for recovering any youth, it must be on top of the agenda of any government because corruption bites so hard. This work that I do, the fact that people amass so much wealth and deprive others, that is why we get the kinds of vulnerabilities we see. The link is so direct that if you don't deal with looted items, corruption, you are going nowhere. So we agree with Oral. The Attorney General's Department has specific instruction. I expect the Attorney General to make sure Oral keeps within its legal mandate. Okay, I disagree with people who say it's not constitutionalism. I disagree. I think that even here, people can come here and report that crimes have happened to them in their homes. Then we take it up and then we let it go to the police. So I don't see why a committee cannot do that kind of thing. We won't do what the police does, but we receive the information. Okay, so the most important thing is that Oral does not overstep its bounds. That will open it up to challenges. And you know the way the Ghanaian courts can be very active when it comes to these things because they will apply the law. Okay, So just don't overstep your bounds. Do what is necessary. Give it to the institutions and let them work. And I believe that with somebody like Dominic Ayene, who many of us know, we expect him to do a good job.
President Mahama admits there is no breathing space. A day after his inauguration, he held a crucial meeting with the African Development Bank.
Significant players in the global economy and key development partners. As we speak, we are under a program. So it is not possible to take over power and seek to do a few things regarding the economy and not engage these important stakeholders. So those meetings were intended to place the president's cards on the table, to indicate to them clearly what the direction will be, and have dialogue as to how the current IMF program can be tailored to meet the exigencies of the time and what accommodations can be made to ensure that the economy is brought back on track. Because currently, the economy is in pretty bad shape, and very soon the figures will become apparent to all.
That same week also saw an order to the IGP to investigate election killings, termination of the appointments of all metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives, MMDCEs, and prompt actions that averted doomsday.
Through determined efforts, I can report that we have now averted the looming threat of power outages and began delivering fuel to the thermal plants in the east in advance of the shutdown of the West African gas pipeline. And Honorable General, I want to congratulate you for working very hard.
The previous government had refused, or if you like, failed to meet important obligations regarding the purchase of fuel to fire thermal plants because the imminent shutdown of the West African gas pipeline for routine maintenance as far back as October. That maintenance also had been carried out. The government itself pleaded for time, 4 months deferment to enable it to put its house in order and purchase for. Yet they were unable to do so. And because of that, it had led to some crisis. On the very first day that we took office, it became clear that we needed $200 million to be able to ensure that if the pipeline was shut down for 2 months consecutively, we would not sleep in darkness. So the president had to convene that meeting under the chairmanship of the chief of staff. And within a matter of hours, the outcome of the meeting produced results. As I speak to you, significant parcels of fuel have been brought into fire thermal plants. So we have averted what would have been a debilitating energy crisis. And unless there's any major catastrophe, we should be able to weather the storm as far as that goes.
National security and safety are key on President Mahama's agenda. This pledge is tied to the implementation of the 24-hour economy policy, and he has the full support of the heads of security agencies who pledged full allegiance before his visit to Kwaku and Maleribu on Tuesday, January 14th, 2025, exactly a week after his inauguration.
Mr. President, I want to assure you that we are going to continue with even greater zeal to ensure that we maintain the security and stability of this country. I want to assure you of our unflinching support and dedication, as I said, to duty, and make sure that we help you to achieve or realize your objective of resetting Ghana. Mr. President, once again, thank you very much for receiving us this morning. We are grateful. We wish you the best. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
From the recent appointments that have emanated from the President's office, you can see clearly that even if there is an article of Parliament establishing a Ministry of National Security, this President, and he's going back to the original conceptualization of national security by having a coordinator and a few staff around him to, coordinate the functions of that office.
More women have found themselves in President Mahama's new government, which will operate with fewer ministries, a slash from 30 to 23.
pushing very, very hard to meet the commitments of gender involvement in its government. And the presidency, there are 48% women working here. Out of 27 people, 13 are women, which is unprecedented. It's quite high. At some point, by the end of the first 2 weeks of his government, there were 27% women representation in his government. That is a significant step forward, and he's pushing hard to meet the 30% quota. He has indicated that the remaining appointments will reflect that particular desire because he values the contribution of women. If you go to the vice president office, it is 60-40 in favor of women. There are 6 women as against 4 men. That is 60%. I don't think that ever happened in our history. Indeed, the biggest testimony of all is the vice president herself, who represents Ghanaian women in extraordinary ways because it is the first time that a Ghanaian woman has ascended to that height in governance in our country. And it is a significant moment in our history that we should acknowledge.
Right from choosing Professor Nana Jane as his running mate, and Nana is quality, we know. I mean, there's no perfect human being, but she's quality. Because of my interest in women's empowerment, I am very happy to see that he is really working hard to include women in his appointments. The initial ones came and it was good, 28%. Then there was a whole list that had just one woman. It sort of dampened our spirit a bit. But then we saw that a number of CEOs were being appointed as women, as presidential staffers, the vice president's appointment, of her staffers and so on. And it's quite impressive. Okay, but we don't want it to remain just about appointments, though there are many more to go. We know that. We also want it to be about working on issues that enhance equality between women and men. Actually, the de facto and de jure.
42 ministers, including regional ministers, have so far been nominated.
As the ministers are approved by Parliament and as they are sworn in, I'll proceed to name deputy ministers for some of the ministries, which will bring the total ministers to 60, as I promised the people of Ghana.
I think the first month of Mame's appointment, I can see his consistency of what he says from campaign till now. That what is good, the number of ministers he's going to have maintained, and then how he's going to run the country. You can see the setup that is on course.
I believe his appointment is one way to show that he's really serious about the country, because I believe he's giving the youth a chance. Because when you want an appointment, you can realize, okay, the names, the age range is futuristic. So I believe it's positive.
So far, in terms of their age, perfect. The only thing that I hope that the age will go with competence. You see, it is not always the case that the mere fact that the person is young will be able to perform. We have very young ones who don't know their left from right, just like adults or elderly people who don't know their left from right. So being young is one thing, and being or having the ability to perform is another thing. It's a good thing. Elsewhere, young ones are made to learn at tender age from people who are occupying position. It does not seem to be the case here. We need to learn, and I believe that those that have been given the opportunity must take a cue to encourage future appointees.
I mean, the appointees are also quite young, which is a good thing, but they're not really young and not informed, because most of them are persons who had worked in the previous administration, and so they have some knowledge that they bring to the table or to the positions. To the extent that they are mostly young, it's also very revealing. I mean, look at the Central Regional Minister, he has 34 years. The guy has used a lot of wisdom, he speaks well. I think people like that, if they are practical enough, just as they are knowledgeable, you will go far.
But Rama was fully aware of the task ahead. You could see, of course, that having taken power, you see more than you could see by the opposition. But he's been very, very clear. I don't need a legion of ministers to get the job done. And when he inaugurated the third batch of ministers, he made it clear that there's no correlation between a large government and delivery, because we saw it in the previous administration. At some point, we had 125 ministers, and yet that was the period where some of the biggest problems this country has ever faced in all sectors
Okay. The agenda to reset Ghana is on course. Committees in charge of reviewing the constitution, education, assessing the state of the economy, investigating election-related killings, and the implementation of other flagship programs have begun work.
For me, I think the consultative approach is very important. You need to engage, you need to listen, and then try and go through the information, try to process the information you receive, and then consult your internal management and see how you further engage. So for me, it's a positive step. I remember the case of Senchi, for instance. I was in the helm of Senchi with Dr. Juabe and all the key people, the governors of the central bank, Ministry of Finance, and I was a Pepe.
Way a year, 100 days. I'm not me 30 days. 30 days. New man, what you go away. Basha was shake kind of for so within 30 days. Obetu Wanamo. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Obetu Wanamo. Ye resete kana, ye resete kana. Kana beti me. Aji. And I'm for the man I say, but yet to Abama Ubia. Ukuta plan papa. Ubia will work in the sweating home. You catch the kind of for. Said you will have a trouble. Sana Minister Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Measure the Bukan. I was say, non. Ora. Ubo the NMP before I draw you. Ubo already pair. Na a man for committee. Tiana di ora baye. Katasishana projani trim ne kaka. Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Shekana for po. Saba mani sa sin wa meja padi akodi ni plebi hon. Obo bechi. Ampa. Oswa in bosume bako. And then the family and so said the family. And then to one among at Chrekana for say, Ukukumutia what a man and say. Until the day now got to a bar, the catcher said to a papa, the year so free. In the Saba, when you got to your to a papa, not when you're so because Ura Jomama Shepo. Say, we did 2 minutes, mamma. Me, Kwame John Dramani Mahama. Obi be a white kind of one sassy. And you can't new kind of mind and sassy. Not a good for the maton to 20. State property. Nana, the maton to and the all rabbi, we compare. Na MPP for both. MPP for your own press conference now. But Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Some my kind of baby a bit in a one nature. Ampa Otusa. Or take committee. And with your for Kukuda for. Now, almost woman is so. Yeah, my own drawing, you're the 5 years at the Shusha, the over form. Almost the new my and a man for Ghana for Sass, Ghana Massas, and I couldn't go for. Say your balloon in this year, Poma, and your $21.49 billion. Me must have say, Yajins are so some call for necessary more punishment. A woman say you call review, you call him. But I say some call for more punishment. Because on my bone, my no chrono. Me or Rana, the other medicine. But be near Mammy. Say, cause can afford a no pan at Wabba. Yeah, yɛte aka na nsase na amanfoɔ atɔn wati. Government nsase o na Akufo-Addo atɔn ama ne busuafoɔ. Wokɔ kan sɛ ntɔn nsase. But on the book, could you talk black or him with the abandoned say? And so I see the amount for you, state property. Hey, oh, Pabaya will buy you when we are my Japan ABC da. And your Akufo-Addo and the MPP. It's one number could you talk black or taboo to an amount for Nikufu watching. And Ra, almost a case is a betty woman. 200 or something. Now this is a woman year. No, I'm the one some at the past in the INT. You know, those so Mama Chile, dear Kwaku. A new moment Sakano. Sika can a my betty and your be free. You bet me a free education. You bet me a baby woman 21.49 billion. Who is that the Ketwa? And the Ghana cities dollars converted to Ghana cities. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, so what she can afford bar would the process. The uncle on a book which a black on the first table.
All of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when ORA was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called National Security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only, I would say about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly, but at least 80% has been preserved, and it is for the president to advise on what will happen because the documentation we have is that all of that land has been sold. And the sad part is that you will see from the report, some people, prime cantonments land, paid as low as 42,000 cedis. 42,000 cedis for a plot of land. Some 160,000 cedis. And these government officials, MPs, ministers of state. So it was really just a giveaway. I'm sure the president and his advisors will decide on what to do with the rest of the land. Then we also collaborated with National Security to halt the attempted demolition of staff quarters belonging to the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. That is at the Osukuku Hill. That had also been sold, but thanks to our intervention, at least the demolition has been halted. The president and his advisors will decide what should happen to the staff quarters of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Then we take the view that this oral preparatory team concept offered a more structured and peaceful, non-confrontational channel for citizens to address concerns on the looting of state assets. Imagine what would have happened. We are all aware that transitions in Ghana tend sometimes to be acrimonious and even can degenerate into violence. So if Team Oral had not been established for people to have a formal channel to communicate their concerns, and they decided to take the law into their own hands, imagine what would have happened. So instead of the president being bastardized by a few people, I must say, the vast majority of Ghanaians welcome Oral and have commended the president, but a few people who are, raving and ranting, it's clear that this has really helped to ease tensions and to offer Ghanaians who are really coming face to face with looting to report. Number 9, Oral also created a platform for persons of interest to reach out, seeking an opportunity to refund and return what belongs to the Ghanaian people. Quite a number of persons of interest have reached out that they are willing, whether plea bargain or whatever approach, to just have their peace and return, or probably pay the real value for the land that has been given to them. So all of that is contained in the detailed report, and the president and his legal advisors will take a decision on the way forward. Finally, President Mohammed's oral initiative has also attracted phenomenal local and international requests for forensic collaboration to recover the loot hidden offshore. We have received a number of international requests to support this initiative of the President in terms of forensics and to help in offshore retrievals. And all of that is documented in the report. This is for the President to decide on the nature of these collaborations. Some of them have said that it will not cost us anything. They may just ask for a little percentage of success recoveries. But I'm sure the President, the Attorney General will advise on that moving forward. We want to conclude with some fascinating figures. The 36 cases that we have reviewed in detail, if we are successful in recoveries, we can retrieve as much as 20.49 billion United States dollars. 20.49 billion United States dollars. 36 cases, and that's from National Cathedral, PDS, SML. You have the GMPC salt pond decommissioning, and we decided that in this open session we will not go into greater detail, and so I want to be restrained. But there's a great deal of resources belonging to the taxpayers that can be retrieved. Then we've also done an estimate of the state capture, the lands. If we successfully ask people to pay conservative market value for the lands they have looted, again, the experts are telling us that we can recover about 702.8 million United States dollars for the Ghanaian people. That's if we just ask people, those who were paying 42,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 160,000 cedis, to pay the fair market value. Those are lands that $500,000, $600,000, you will even struggle to get cantonments land at that figure. So very conservative estimates. We take the view that if people are asked to pay the real market value, this is how much we can retrieve. So in all, just a summary, the 36 cases, the high amount cases that we put together, and then the land loot, potentially we can raise about 21.19 billion United States dollars. And that is far more than what we have been chasing the IMF for.
Why are 36 cases? 36 cases. You got 21.49 billion. Wow. Say yes, it's a your project. I'm saying 26 kind of. Where you new man could be MPP for. Just a well crowd there, and yet the abandoned question call for reporter on the call. The cousin and number where you could not be Montiasi. $21.49 billion. Convert to Ghana cedis. Sikamo Kremo, I bet you are dead. Not Jenny Nam, a Kufuado. Sikamo when you are quoting confident in your book, yes, it's Sika for IMF. Near the Nam, near 3 billion for IMF. Ghana for yet the Masidi kind. Yet the Masida Masiansa. Someone doing a kind of home. I'm not talking about the man, Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Because we see honorable Okuche Traprapa. Nesama Waka. Let's just say that not woman teacher. MPP. Woman Boya Pro. Yes, and see honorable Okuche Traprapa.
All of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when ORA was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called National Security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only, I would say about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly. But at least 80% has been preserved, and it is for the president to advise on what will happen because the documentation we have is that all of that land has been sold. And the sad part is that you will see from the report, some people, prime cantonment's land, paid as low as 42,000 cedis. 42,000 cedis for a plot of land. Some 160,000 cedis. And these government officials, MPs, ministers of state. So it was really just a giveaway. I'm sure the president and his advisors will decide on what to do with the rest of the land. Then we also collaborated with National Security to halt the attempted demolition of staff quarters belonging to the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. That is at the Osukuku Hill. That had also been sold, but thanks to our intervention, at least the demolition has been halted. The president and his advisors will decide what should happen to the staff quarters of the Ghana Museums and Monuments Board. Then we take the view that this oral preparatory team concept offered a more structured and peaceful, non-confrontational channel for citizens to address concerns on the looting of state assets. Imagine what would have happened. We are all aware that transitions in Ghana tend sometimes to be acrimonious and even can degenerate into violence. So if Team Oral had not been established for people to have a formal channel to communicate their concerns, and they decided to take the law into their own hands, imagine what would have happened. So instead of the president being bastardized by a few people, I must say, the vast majority of Ghanaians welcome Oral and have commended the president, but a few people who are, raving and ranting, it's clear that this has really helped to ease tensions and to offer Ghanaians who are really coming face to face with looting to report. Number 9, Oral also created a platform for persons of interest to reach out, seeking an opportunity to refund and return what belongs to the Ghanaian people. Quite a number of persons of interest have reached out that they are willing, whether plea bargain or whatever approach, to just have their peace and return, or probably pay the real value for the land that has been given to them. So all of that is contained in the detailed report, and the president and his legal advisors will take a decision on the way forward. Finally, President Mahama's oral initiative has also attracted phenomenal local and international requests for forensic collaboration to recover the loot hidden offshore. We have received a number of international requests to support this initiative of the president in terms of forensics and to help in offshore retrievals, and all of that is documented in the report. This is for the president to decide on the nature of these collaborations. Some of them have said that it will not cost us anything. They may just ask for a little percentage of success recoveries, but I'm sure the president, the attorney general will advise on that moving forward. We want to conclude with some fascinating figures. The 36 cases that we have reviewed in detail, if we are successful in recoveries, we can retrieve as much as 20.49 billion United States dollars. 20.49 billion United States dollars. 36 cases, and that's from National Cathedral, PDS, SML. You have the GMPC salt pond decommissioning, and we decided that in this open session we will not go into greater detail, and so I want to be restrained. But there's a great deal of resources belonging to the taxpayers that can be retrieved. Then we've also done an estimate of the state capture, the lands. If we successfully ask people to pay conservative market value for the lands they have looted, again, the experts are telling us that we can recover about 702.8 million United States dollars for the Ghanaian people. That's if we just ask people those who were paying 42,000 cedis, 120,000 cedis, 160,000 cedis, to pay the fair market value. Those are lands that $500,000, $600,000, you will even struggle to get cantonments land at that figure. So very conservative estimates. We take the view that if people are asked to pay the real market value, this is how much we can retrieve. So in all, just a summary, the 36 cases, the high amount cases that we put together, and then the land loot, potentially we can raise about 21.19 billion United States dollars. And that is far more than what we have been chasing the IMF for.
Very honorable Okuja Blackwa na ora 36 pages, 36 documents. What the more asem abetu ekwa. Sesika Ghana yebenya wo ora mono $21.49 billion. And according to for Nsase Kakra, Nsase $700 million. And then Cathedral no money on my new map, we are Timusika. Omoke kind of boom minus year $20.49 billion. Oko canning now boom say $21.49 billion. And yet you don't know $1 billion. Manya no akufu ado katre se yeti sika so na kwamoti yen sana wono mo wie sika no manu mu nyina ya ton kana ona bo kuja to amanso ho odimika tutumika koda excellency John Dramani Mahama ase ra president enso eda ona bo kuja to abla kwa ka shenu transe onko so nya aduma pa emfa moa omai and some were kind
1,493 calls through the toll-free line, 1,493. We also received 924 emails. Fortunately, all of these calls are recorded automatically, and all the emails have also been preserved for verification and validation. So in total, the number of complaints received amounts to 2,417. So those who had any doubt about how relevant and how timely the president's intervention was at the time, this is your evidence. 2,417 complaints received. Where will all of these people have gone if President Mahama had not set up the oral preparatory team? So President Mahama has been vindicated. It was a masterstroke. It was the right decision for our country, and it has deepened transparency and accountable governance. Over the last 53 days, we have reviewed these petitions. 44 were received directly from civil society organizations and other public-spirited citizens. 59 of the 230 cases reviewed containing the documents we'll be submitting today were cases that had come up during the period the NDC was in opposition. But we decided to go back to those matters and carry out a detailed review. And all of those are contained. So today we will be presenting a summary of these reports, 230 of them which have been analyzed in greater detail. Your Excellency, we also want to bring to your attention that even before we move to phase 2 of oral, which is going to focus on the actual recoveries, the actual retrievals, we have identified 10 initial benefits of oral, and we want to run through them quickly. We take the view that oral has deepened transparency and accountability. It has really increased public awareness about the need to protect state assets. And it is also serving as a guide to the new government. And government officials are now more conscious of the need to make sure that, as President Mahama has consistently said, charity begins at home. Secondly, thanks to the establishment of Oral, we have been able to save 50 bungalows that were on the verge of being demolished. 50 bungalows. We received distress calls from public servants who said people had showed up, so-called private developers, to demolish their bungalows. And in the report, we have provided the detailed list of these bungalows, some belonging to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Gender, Social Protection, the CSIR, and all of that. But for the president establishing Oral, we take the view that all of these 50 bungalows will have been demolished. So what we did is that when we received the complaints, the distress calls, we immediately called the National Security Committee. And we were very privileged because of the president's foresight. He strategically positioned COP Kofi Boakye in Oral and also in the National Security Committee. So as soon as the reports come, he then relays the information to National Security Committee. So media, please get it clear. We are not saying that we, Team Oral, physically went to prevent demolition of bungalows. No, that was not part of our mandate. We were only to receive complaints. But as responsible, conscientious citizens, it will be irresponsible to receive the complaints and just allow those bungalows to be demolished. So immediately, national security is informed, and then they act. So please ignore all of those barrage of unfair and baseless attacks that Oral has suffered. We did not carry out any fiscal operation on the ground. We only report to national security, and then they act. We also collaborated with national security to save the Northern Development Authority lands at cantonments. A private developer overnight on the eve of the president's inauguration moved in overnight to erect a wall, divided the property into half. Some of you are conversant with that land. It's just opposite the U.S. Embassy, very prime land. That is where the Constitution Review Commission used to sit under Dr. Raymond Atuguba. It was allocated to the Northern Development Authority, and these private developers claim that it now belongs to them. But the staff of NDA called us, and we promptly called national security, and they moved in. So we were able to save that land. National security has since demolished the wall, and so the land is safe for the Ghanaian people. We also collaborated with national security to halt state asset takeovers across the country. You see from the report that we have videos and pictures of vehicles whose number plates were being changed, and so that they will virtually steal them for private use. Again, acting on those tip-offs, national security moved in quickly and were able to save a good number, hundreds of these vehicles. Again, the list is provided in the report. There was also a clash at the Du Bois Center. We received a distress call that a private foundation was taking over. We immediately called national security. And so what we have done now is to ask that the factions should meet, and the new Minister for Tourism should resolve the matters. Again, if Oral had not been established, only God knows what would have happened at the Du Bois Center. Number 6, we have also saved large portions of the agric mechanization lands at cantonments. Those of you who are conversant with that land opposite the Elwak Sports Stadium, all of it had been allocated. But fortunately, when Oral was established, the Association of Vegetable Producers and Exporters reached out to us that that's where they used to operate. Large portions of their facilities had been demolished, but their cold room was on the verge of being demolished. And so we called national security, they moved in, and we have been able to save large portions. Only, I would say, about 20% of the land has seen some development. Politically exposed persons are building hurriedly, but at least 80%.
Where your Oral report, which are the second year, I want to change number plates. No number can ha. Becan said DVL. Obia be register car, no one register. But then, we get to honorable report in the room. say about 100 to 200 government cars and they're changing normal plates. MPP, another with the papa, a kufado, with the canafo. We are Canania, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Ukuso, I said, you must say, a reset, but yeah, a bit to be a say, where's the car? You're free or a man, and this is capital. It's a bed honorable Okuta Tabraka, and you see OP Kofi Boache, escort, and impending for a camp, Attorney General. The nominal say, Second a hot dog, and your grandpa, Omkutadima Cananti, Omotusana Mon, Nasa Japati, Yensa, and to me, Ebeka. I was a non clone. The next story, I will do. In fact, and the question was Russia picture. What's your comment? Joe Cat, in the Mr. Speaker, Aban, Smiley, Papi. I told Safra Sofubimo. Peter Satanka Williams. At your ceremony at the other, to answer from Bambra Sipicum, some woman breakfast prayer. Now, who could Parliament in the sea? Not a fake. Which means Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a member, Yame, and the Kutakana. Sign the two Excellency, the two say 6 months to 3 months. I suffer the bomb packet. When you fail the leader, you go fast as upon some, the Kufa don't need a back, but we have a tears. I suffer comes in an easy. Suffer to me, Shanko, and then one can suffer. Mom with someone among you free. And the wicked also now Kasa as a spirit to be a bold as what time. To tell walk as a cra, now we need to temperament. So for who should be empire as some command, who was in any temperament. Attend that. Who should be empire with a mic no Kasa, or Kasa member Monaso. Some can't as some command what to take. But then that advances Sanjay, who will be a Kasa bold. When we young for Danka Williams, so who can saw them no preach here? It will be my yet to say, why more. When we say Casa. But then, advances and buy ye, and no question Paya no bar, no who said yet. Or something like a Kelsey, yet to me, the approach for Bayer Waha, the 31st night. I'm a fool at ye. Which means come. And a softener, which means the least be African as soften, and the kind of suffer that woman, and the kind of suffer which are not so the more Casa or Casa Pember, because you twist us upon some and in the bed for so. And then I suffer no more ram la shepherd. Now, who could send him Pabel was crossing, not effect. Software Pagana night, or Pagana Sat, not parliamentarian see, woman kick Kabosh, the Omoyanish. What do you mean who say? I said, fair. And we are software. But when you what it will maybe now in Shankom. It will maybe not think as I was sorry for you. It will maybe work as I know true. Or software Becassa, nobody need to take, no one to take. No one to attack, no one to be bad. Because damn paritative, damn paritative cannot suffer. It's not cannot suffer being to Casa. But then they see breakfast meeting, you're going to correct.
Divine providence to acknowledge
acknowledge our need of you, recognizing that we cannot succeed at this parliament without the God factor being given attention to. And on that note, we give thanks.
Why I Ghana so far and no call breakfast prayer about parliament. Then the Bibisa said, a Sophia Quayam Pabo and no better joke at joke at him. Bibisa. And no Empire or rather Williams poor ya as a sloopy. And then the master Bibisa said, and the movement to me assign your joke at joke at him because when young couple will not ship it to him. You will hear I am not saying Ghana Parliament. Speaker and a tone suffering. A software said, I'm running your breakfast prayer. I'm going to see. Sata ta 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 ta. Sakata ja 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 ja. Who said your software now correct? Your software should be paying when you're not corporate or comes. Hey! Sa sofo na kufa betete mo papa. Sa sofo na bonsambia betra mo so na mutimi turo. And the mo kam ho bom no. Mo se to bonsam. Wo se kan na ayefoforo. Wo se kan na deso bia frie so. Wo se kan na nioma bia na asoka na mu otu. Utimi sa ate atofo. Se ni na sofo bompa ye o na ba ko.
Divine providence to acknowledge our need of you, recognizing that we cannot succeed at this parliament without the God factor being given attention to. And on that note, we give thanks.
Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm in with your correct. The same se Obama Ghana eti ye senya me se Obama Ghana afa ne ntoma pa fra te se mrebi atwam ansunya me Ghana resete send your school from kola asase resadi obi resadi ba kono Ghana asase resete asante do mama papa baby obi amichia amo nshira wate when she me mammy Lotina, Obapa, Amofibia, Mamma Yenya Wanka, Yenya, Madame. I mean, sure, what it? The memo is Swadimo. Yamima would that check and yakase. Yame, and throw with you, Momo Flatum Kwaku. Ghana be Ghana, Monsieur Bede, you pay ye, and my Mabunya Kumaye. And Maba when ye Kumaye, and Kwalanya Kumaye, a school from Kwalanya part-time job by ye. Uncle my Ghana, and to get part-time job will hanky. But the Ghana is doing a part-time job. How? Because of Bonnet and the Bonsambia, you didn't better than your son. Because of Owutini, Pia, you didn't better than your son. Ghana depend to me, Cassa. But then, ye fling Kwasuma, Kwasuma, and Kwasuma, ye fling, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, Adaboma, and the Ghana, I have son, na Ghana, Bakoswa, day, as a son, oh my Ghana, ye people ye dinia cassette, Jelso ye Ghana, dear Ende, the Benita Media couldn't be, and go where we are.
Mesimebre, no pressure. More dear ma excellency to mama pressure. Montamu bumma no kwai na on reset kana. Na kana yefe. Ame ye baga na dia. Yakase Kwame Nkrumah kana ni. And Independence Square 6 March. And so I'm council. Can't budget review, and that's if you Independence Square and a budget. Oh, excellency, your mama. I mean, she know what it. Kwaku skate. I'm on for more from a walk on Ghana. Yeah, got to my subibo. Ghana Menyanko. Menyanko. Yes, and Kameko, but Kevin Tennis and Prince and Kakrans and Theatre. Yeah, they are too old. Nanka me kweni, but they are too old. The Pemuno, the Bessan Baba 10 years back, and so much. The more from me, now walk up, the Ben now back, the Ben no more, Munya. Why? You were 4 years and a decade. 4 years to make time. And the meaning of your stadium. I want to say, you be all supposed for the Sremo. See about me a Kwaku. Michibuti, the Salutumo. And Apia Stadium can simply na a deal. Media Kwaku into me find them. Well, man, some my bedroom house party because of my member. Hey, and then I take a new a bedroom house on my family. Hey, and then we see a Kwaku up here. Kwaku a champion Kawati. We see a that. What's you on Jubilee House? What could be so much say? Or Yacha Massa. Said you could get Yacha Massa, man. Or no compare there. Do I Jubilee House of opposing for your program? Hey, what cancer, the best me put table. What's it? Or call baby me a catcher and say, maybe a celebrity, baby. I shot at the theater said in the bed, but none of us. No, we you know win the bottom. Hey, a man for your control. But we get to my control here. Yeah, Mother, Yabro, put my control with me. May catch you out with your vessel. Yabra, papa. It is easy. And the appear quite young one with fat. Papa, chief of staff, man of crime on brand new man, Casa. Man of crime, because they be with your mind. One of the supposed to your cherry. When you are here, when you do win out of Sando, you be as a more permanent. A permanent. Appear stadium, the mamma is out. Appear stadium. Papa. What is it the big confiscate, my boy? Now, will be a man with me quiet demonstration. Hey, I just got my bro. Demonstration with demonstration. I picture me and let me go home, the baby. Now, what I call Quisket, pa. Now, with say demonstration, many masha. Many masha, yeah. I will say, yes, our demonstration was DC. Kwaku, my bro, my bread. Chipos and Kabeka will be back. And yes, Ghana, you did me. Pakwasi, it's out. Pakwasi, that would need FM. Pap, it's your would you remember you? Yeah, check. I appear to see a cherry. Biscuit. Then can you? Demonstration be quite check. Hey, my bro. I press it with my bread, but Kwaku skate make my bread. Papa. The movie I'm playing. Produce a picture to have a new check amount for the fans on why. Mammy Japoma. Obami knew for picture the brand Erica Crane, sorry. The time was we did the year grand near the amount Kusinam. Hey, I can store me back on my new. We your Kwaku skate. But pray to say, you know, say. Kwaku skate, no, no. We are Washington, D.C. Cathedral. Yeah. We are Cathedral, Washington, D.C. Mene Masha. Yeah, me no pe. Neme na Masha video. Hi. And now Washington, D.C. Obi said, you are at Washington, D.C. I don't quite. Obi so also person here. Obi so ko bi Washington, D.C. Monica. Ana Monica ni ana. Monica Mensa, Monica. Esno ba ko na ko Ghana embassy no. Where you call a cathedral, Washington National Cathedral. Ba ko bi Monica me no na call. Any sister gift. No more and you call Ghana embassy. Kwaku get my bro. Oh, what come on to yo. Now here today, you are my cana. You're to cana. Say, catch him, say, you are my cana. But my prayer. I hear Cana who don't. Yeah, Auntie Monica, Sister Monica, Nakasama, okay. Yeah, what come and I'm calling the demonstration with Ghana embassy. Satam, no, not your cotuapa. We video no ha. Sister Monica, I will move video like a country on the kai. Because as an hour will be, yeah, what hopa. I mean, go ahead, video no me walk. Me never see any more demonstration. Pia my no chroma because I video. Demonstration Pia. My mention, I mean, one of my fans, sorry, the time I saw. I mentioned Washington, D.C., Ghana embassy. I'm a home picture. Any, yeah, make
Thank you. What's up? What's up? Take all this vigilante. You are the let's go. Chabay! Hey! Akufo-Addo! 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 It's a letter! 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 Bawumia! It's a liar! Bawumia! It's a liar! Bawumia! It's a liar! Osafumafo! It's a liar! Osafumafo! It's a thief! Osafumafo! It's a thief! Osafumafo! It's a thief! Bawumia! It's a thief! Ojo Ponkoma! It's a liar! 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 Akufo-Addo! It's a better! Akufo-Addo! It's a better! IGP! It's a better! IGP! It's a better! IGP! It's a better! Clear the wall! It's a better! IGP! It's a better! IGP! It's a better! Clear the wall! It's a better! Akufo-Addo! It's a better! Akufo-Addo! It's a better! Akufo-Addo! Oya Kwaku! 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 Akufo-Addo! Bawumia! 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 Ya Osafumafo! Ya Osafumafo! Akufado, stop the kill, Akufado. 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 Stop the kill, President Akufado. Stop the kill, President Akufado. President Akufado. Shooting, Akufado. Stop shooting, President Akufado. 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 Shooting. 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 President of Ghana. 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 Shooting. It's a broad soccer. President of Ghana. President of Ghana. President of Ghana.
A video not to us, the demonstration be a video is about the time. Satam, Monica, Monica, gifty, sister gifty, Maryland for what they say. One day, some bow best round, and they found the in and then one day, maybe okay, the time as soon. Yeah, the ready in the now, in some people, one can some the twice, but my for 2.5 hours. You need campaign time. It was a program that is a uniform call. My fan of form, and a form because you need campaign. Nemo, Medawase, I mentioned Chubri House, Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, a issue statement at the above one thing. So one moment MPP are buying a commemoir. Omon form DBN to honor. Omate. Omon form DBN to honor what we are and what's ya. That's a become myself. Because of Safma for 2016 of Safma for Cassette. Young Pam NDC for Fred Jumem and the power season. And see, yeah, Papa, Madi Namibra Penny, Chief of Staff. Julius Kwesi Debra, the issue statement. Otiname ba, you become on some people. And now, Otiname ba, you becasa. Actually, Excellency said, statement in the bar, Moncani tree. And my yama mum womb crassing. Or Matiasum at the power woyeno. Mo from the door so. Ghana, the minim said. Uko kabro fukra one of man yes. But kwesi bro ni country ya na no from dia. Na mani aje mo correctness wa ya ade. But when you can ni ya mfa bro fu na ko no ye di twi kasa na wonye. Atoko kan na mo sere. O man gan ye serious a camera shebe bempo kasa se ketwi. You got to about the your country. You got campaign the your country. But you talk maybe a statement about not by your prof. As I see, you know, the time machine. We did ready in Abesia. Yamia Duma, or China, and Yumbre. We knew Bessia, American time non song at the echo. And see, Oba, she video no. Open TV box and swata. But what in the frame, baby, will be a TV box on a star. You be a hobby brave, you be Kokana, Ghana, you be Kokon, the Akoton. And you want to make a be one with the ready in the Bessia, a crown. Ube home Apple 68 FM. And none of Kwaku's is here, Medasua, ye, and to send a cricassomawa. Ube who say, and now bay. Swam, and a dashing. And see, made the Uber come near her, say. Fox, Juma. Fox, no, and then that we are, I see. Come, okay, Fox, and then that we. So, Messay at the war about ESPN, Osha, ESPN, and then that. So, yeah, sure, say ESPN. A year, Juma. Any, and that's it. Come. ball no way. Osha, basketball, and that's a tennis ball, and that's a come. Me call the baby net because boss no. Aba bebre say fufro na aba no me wo 4K na me wo 4K plus and na me wo regular one 4K plus no adwuma eye na no aten ni remote no adwuma bebre we ye UTV Kenya me yehwe say UTV Kenya no eye adwuma producer kama UTV Kenya fatum ne yekade yes say ebi wo na enye adwuma na da so no so and that's come young kwaha be sports mo amupe Premier League ball ahwe aha ball bia ye bon ha eni kama and that's it so nyame adom apos over ball ye no mo ball kama eni life and that's so se game ni won so a ball that no mo yi bi ho uba ha Yamiadum Apple 68 in African businesses. Yet the BB son kwan ba and no sa wo you suffer. When you be a wow kuta wo your business or ha send me video keke edumane video. You be update you ho. Say your African market. Say your restaurant. Say be a wire way. Who perceive the two TV no so mount. A man for Mr. One so why you way ye? Who want no him so why ye? Send your beer waiting on South body a crack. What the video in the better so? Say we a barber shop, we a mechanic, what on cars. Dear we ye be our chrome ha. Ya sandy baby fufra bar. Ya de bois and crown consumer will chrome ha. African businesses, churches, and your corporate. I called you press before video no more. Sorry, you hear that where you Kumasi market, which I ended that way. Come on. What's it be in the Kumasi? Oh, Kumasi market. And that way, and that's your come on. Yeah, boy. And till the air catcher was said to Waba and my John Dramani Mahama. Yamia don't near bar or bar, yet to be side business in the baby fee. Namu Kranko Mukuta Munyuma. And see, we now babaka. Well, we are to we be sport, we Ghana MTA, Ghana for TV Libya. So we are American TV, NBC, Uba, we are Ghana TV, 7DSTV, and the Dahono. We are American channel, we are MNSBC. And yeah, you po, and the demono. So, boss, when Konya Yeno, Antina at the Chenya at the Saya, then the Fufro Ban, na Fufro na Abani the education. A year the same Yomana, but to share Nimuna at a Sasha. So, and they come out, and even the whole clear one sample be near him, where ID Apostle Kodosafo TV3, Kesman TV, wow, VH1. Bravo, a channel like you can papa. Bravo, that's no. UTV, UTV, and that's no. What's our cost? UTV Nashi. Come on, and that's it. Pay with up a day. No more for 4. What I want to monthly fee. A one-time payment. What I want to say, what you have found TV, no, they found one day. Come on, UTV now. So, arrest Ubaha ION African News. When you are Joy Premium. Oh, Joy Premium. And the end of that one, Joy. Yopo and the season. And the Joy. Oh, BMPS show. And no more. So what time we have BMPS, the BMPS show. And no more. Upa, who are Ghana now? So Joy never said they make a memoir. The same thing, a live channel, and live television, and that's all. And one of the Apple 68 high destination box. But I have GH1, and that's all. Well, BET, I am making a channel. Where's your TV? Where's your Where's your TV? And that's one. We former President John Dramani Mahama Kobe Bia. Now, Professor Jenano Pukwa Meka say, you know this channel. It will be your box will groom and around the world. Which will be. So, and that's one. Toby, from 703-270-8171. TV3, we got TV3. And that's one. Producer, TV3, ma'am. Yeah, say a year, TV3, and the demo. Well, what I want to have who pay Premier League after poor pa or Martin Mesre, Jebox CB. Now, what Jebox CB, I want to whom the Afro TV will fight and talk pa. You fight, yeah, say a kutubo be caution, and the demo, a kutubo, rest, attenta, maybe boko, and the demo. Who talk about box will be a wound. No one see cheap. But a quality, I would have one people say yes. And then see, say, yeah, the full baby grabber. Oh, Ghana Holland TV, Ghana Police, I'm part of the TV, the Jimmy. Oh, B Sports, they won't be brave. Will be Sports Media. They won't be bridge out, and no ball. Premier League. Oh, and no, we Premier League live. We never recorded live Premier. Any, and let them know. So, we cry. Almost say, young travel channel XYZ. Or never mama. People say him, Nana ya Foliwa. Woman a good year papa be. Ubenya be possible. Ubenya was never mama. Ubenya Mugab Massy. I can waha. In the young say, and that's all. In the Opa XYZ TV XYZ. Don't we say me what? And that's all. I have me mama dada. Jebox CB 1-time payment. Otra won't you have some? Oba Hebobia, Upebia free. In the share Obaha. Send us now share GTV and the high share in the sky.
Take a close listen to the words of Kennedy Japan some years back.
They say, Akufuado to say, a dria is siwa, any wow. Yes, what the Galam say. Oh, Madam, I'm telling you, main means from Akufuado to what to say. A dria is siwa, any because he rock. Galam say, when it comes to Galam say, complete.
This is a suggestion of corruption at the very core and root of Nanado himself. When it comes to Galamsey, there is one man who has been at the center of some of the biggest scandals that has ever hit this country since the MPP came to power. From PDS, Ejapa, and now illegal mining, popularly called Galamsey. It's the man Gabi Ochiri Dakon. On the 7th of April 2017, a few months after the MPP government came to power, Gabi took to Twitter and wrote this: "Posterity shall not forgive Akufo-Addo and our government if we don't win the war against Galamsey." A few months later, the president of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the gathering of eminent chiefs, made a solemn promise on Galamsey, saying this:
"I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said."
A couple of years down the line, and Ghanaians have learnt a bitter lesson. Instead of fight to end Galamsey, they have rather been the biggest supporters and defenders of Galamsey. And this is why. Ghanaians have been in a state of shock after a report by the former Minister of Environment, Professor Frimpong Boateng, which seeks to give credence to the realities of how the presidency and people close to the president are neck deep in the business of destroying the country. The report exposes the president and vice president, presidential staffers, and many others in the destruction of our forest and water bodies in the name of Party Hiansika. This report, written by Professor Frimpong Boateng, was sent to the presidency years ago, and until recently leaked by the loud silence media, the presidency did nothing about its content. Note that the author of the report is Professor Frimpong Boateng, a specialist heart surgeon, the founder of the Ghana Heart Foundation, as well as the head and founder of the Cardiothoracic Center at Kolibu, who was the head of the Ministry of Environment, which oversaw all the fights against Galamsey in the first place. This is a man who has authority, unblemished integrity, and most importantly, oversight responsibility over the fight against Galamsey. One of the names mentioned in this report is the name Gabi Otredakon, who is a lawyer for one Donald Ensure, the owner of C&J Alaska and Heritage Imperial. It turns out that as far back as 2016-2017, these companies have been involved in illegal mining, polluting and destroying our water bodies, and the records will show. On the 29th of November 2016, Dr. Tony Orbin, former CEO of Minerals Commission under the NDC administration, cautioned C&J Alaska against engaging in illegal mining on their prospecting license. Again, on the 30th of January 2017, Dr. Tony Orbin wrote to C&J Alaska to caution them against engaging in illegal mining without requisite permits and approvals. In 2017, this company, headed by Donald Ensure, was reported by the head of Mineral Commission as engaging in mining without the right documents. Donald Ensure's company, C&J Alaska and Heritage Imperial Limited, have a long history of abusing mining permits, causing destruction of Ghana's forest reserves through illegal mining activities under the pretext of a prospecting license. Before now, on the 2nd of October 2017, John Peter Amewu, MPP's own Minister for Lands and Natural Resources then, wrote to C&J Alaska regarding the Drabo concession and directed them not to carry out any mining operations in the concessions until their mining lease has been ratified. Donald Ensure and his Canadian partner owned C&J Alaska Limited, which operated mainly in the Diasu Forest Reserve in the Dencho-Obuasi area. It has been said that Major Mahama died protecting the Galamsey concessions of this very company Gabi is affiliated to, whose illegal mining activities was destroying Dencho-Obuasi and was being protected against the interest of the people of Dencho-Obuasi, who meted out their anger on Major Mahama, an innocent man who most likely had been sent there by higher powers. In the report and consequent responses, Professor Frimpong Boateng cited this company as engaging in illegal mining. He mentioned that at the time, government had banned all mining activities. Since mining was banned, they were stopped. This angered Gabi. Prof said to his shock, mentioned that Gabi Asari Otredakon, who he expects to know better as a lawyer, called to defend the company that actively destroyed our environment, especially the forest and river Offing in the Apaprama and Krobo forest. After the report leaked, we can hear Gabi here pretending he did not know that at the time he called, government had banned all mining and what his client was doing in the forest was illegal.
I have a client who has all the documents or permits and licenses required to do prospecting, everything. And he goes on site, and then soldiers come to basically not just stop them from working, but to seize all the equipment. So I asked the minister, but they have permits, so what really, I want to understand the issue. And then the minister fires back and says, they are not prospecting, they are mining.
Was Gabi not trying to use his influence as the nephew of the president to force the hands of Professor Frimpong Boateng to allow the illegality against our forest and water bodies to continue? Why would Gabi resort to telling clear lies? Did he, Gabi, not know that the said company only had a prospecting license which is not used for mining? Did he, Gabi, not know that there had been a ban on all mining activities by government? What else would cause Gabi to call the minister and throw his weight around? Did he, Gabi, not know that there has been previous letters to the very company from Mr. Orbin and Mr. Amewu at different times since 2016 to stop illegal mining? Why the deliberate attempt to use his position to intimidate the minister and continue destroying our forests and waters through illegal mining? Both Donald Ensure and Gabi Otredakon are enemies of the state and collaborators in a criminal conduct. The time has come for action to be taken against these enemies of state. We cannot allow them to continue to compromise the future of the country and the well-being of our people.
Say, Akufo-Addo to say a dua a siwa any wow. Yes, with the Galamsey. Oh, madam, I'm telling you, main means from Akufo-Addo to what to say a dua a siwa any because ni rot. Galamsey, when it comes to Galamsey, Akufo-Addo a rot complete.